good evening. This is Chauvon. This and my man Ricky. This is the UN podcast. Our third partner was unable to make it today, but we're just gonna keep it pushing. All right. Today is a auspicious occasion for many reasons. Today is MLK's birthday and the inauguration of the new president, Donald Trump. However you feel about that, you're entitled to your own opinion, and you're entitled to express your own opinion as it comes to any of these events.
Totally
So,
forgot about Martin Luther King.
yeah. Today's
Yeah.
announcement is you don't get no mail today, and you will actually get paid for today. It's a holiday.
Only if you work for the government, I think.
No, it's a holiday. It's a federal holiday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like next
Why?
month.
When did they pass it?
It's been a federal holiday for a minute. For about a decade or so.
But certain companies don't pay it.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
I think we got paid for it last year. I don't know.
All right. All right. I don't want to get people bored. Let's get into it.
All right. So I'd like to welcome you to anyone who is checking this out. Welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about what happened with TikTok, a little bit on Spider-Man, and some on Lobo for Supergirl, and a little bit on the Russo brothers and various other MCU news. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the TikTok ban. Do you use TikTok in any capacity?
I don't, but most of the young people use it for basically their news.
Right. Is a little bit of discrepancy between whether or not X or TikTok is the number one news source right now. So
I believe it's TikTok for a younger generation.
Yeah. So it greatly depends on who you talk to. Every time anybody who's over 20 looks at TikTok, it's like, at least for most of us, I know people who are about our age who look at TikTok all the time. It's like very few of those. A lot of people who are younger do. So in terms of TikTok going away, it's like it's not really going to affect my life. But I also don't like the fact that the government is banning stuff. I think that,
and then I believe it's Facebook is involved with this stuff, and they try to monopolize, control everything. And I mean, they don't want competition or anything. So it's not about Chinese, and it's about controlling, freedom of speech and stuff like that. Because TikTok is way different compared to the other platforms.
Well, the funniest thing about it is a lot of people are going over to and see if I can pronounce this correctly, Zhuang, I think.
Red Note.
Right. But that's not really what it's called. It's like that's something that they came up with last minute. But essentially it is the book that was given out by Mao during his revolution, right? And I was looking at a dude who was talking about it. So you get all these people who go over on to that, and they're remarking about how great China is, blah 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 blah. There's a YouTube channel that I follow. They were in China for 14 years or something like that, and they basically had to sneak out kind of thing. And he's like, what you see on that app is a curated version of what China looks like. So they are not allowed to do basically anything. And he was saying is how all these people who went over there are going to find that out fairly quickly, that they don't play none of that stuff that we allow here. They do not allow that on the app.
Yeah, but you have to remember too, every time you do business over there in China, the government is going to have most of the control.
Right. I think a lot of people,
it's either way. It is
not like,
you can't, like you said, you can't believe everything the government tells you about Chinese. You know what I mean?
Right, but
there's all scary tactics.
There was some girl there was people who put rainbows and whatever in their bio and talk about how they're lesbian, and their account was ain't like that.
Of course, the government control everything there.
They do not play. So all these people who
so what do you think they do here?
It is not like that. It is certain things, but it is not, dude. It is not as quick as that. It is, and like what this dude was saying is like you're most of the people who are on there are well-to-do Chinese people, and basically what they're really allowed to talk about is superficial shit. They don't talk about politics. They don't talk about
aside, yeah, I know. Aside from China and TikTok, whatever. But what I'm saying is, in the United States, all these powerful companies don't want competition.
I get that.
That's the main issue. They want now they're talking about Elon Musk buying TikTok. No, I don't want Elon Musk buying TikTok. Keep that shit separate, bring competition. They want to control all this shit. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is China's a little different. Like, it's a lot different. And people I don't think people really truly, like, again, I watched a whole bunch of videos of people going ape crap over TikTok being banned and all this other stuff. And they think that the other side of the fence is greener when it's not even close to being that. It's the other side of the fence.
I agree with that part. Yeah, I know. It's not the same over there. I'm just saying, here where we're going, TikTok said they don't want the competition. That's how it is. It's not about all this data and Chinese spying. Like, come on. It's just a joke, man.
All right. So I saw I got like some news. I'm trying to see if they had a bit. Okay. So I'm just looking for different articles. But one of the things that I saw today about people going back and forth about it being reinstated in 20 hours or something like that. And they're just going on and on and on about how this is a PR stunt for Trump. I'm like, okay. And another thing somebody brought up was like, he was trying to ban it in like 4 years ago. Like, okay, but he wasn't one who did it. So it's like this weird thing going online where you got people who are trying to, so you got like the right being upset that it's unbanned in the first damn place. So they was all like, it should be banned, period. Then you got a bunch of people who are trying to fight for who is responsible for it coming back. And then I just saw an article of the CEO of, here we go. All right, I think this is it. The TikTok ban live updates. The CEO attends Trump's inauguration after Trump vows to save app. The TikTok CEO,
it's a guy from Singapore, right?
Right. He was in the rotunda for the inauguration. All right, so this is like, so we had a senator who questioned the legality of the expected executive order from Trump delaying the TikTok ban, which got bipartisan support and is upheld by the Supreme Court. Says, I'm concerned about the appropriate approach to separation of power by all presidents. And saying, after today, TikTok is back. So it's like a weird thing going on. It's like a pissing contest, kind of about this app. It is a weird thing where they got a lot of people who have businesses tied to this. So you got different people coming at it from different directions for very different reasons. Some of which, like what you said, some of which want it blocked because of competition. Some of which want it blocked because of this, because of that. And like a lot of the conservatives who are upset about this, I think is like, if you don't want your kid to be on TikTok, then don't let your kid go on TikTok.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's not the government's. So that's why I don't like the ban, because it's not the government's position to decide whether or not your kid watches something. That is up to you.
Yeah, they're just making they're trying to make it to politics regarding this.
Right. So because the fact that you got the people who don't like Trump, who, even though the CEO is thanking Trump for bringing it back, and it is somehow actually Biden, which is weird. And considering what Biden did today, but that's another thing. So I don't know. I am not on. It's like, I am not on TikTok enough to actually form.
Maybe he'll wake up still tomorrow thinking he's the president, huh?
Dude, his last thing, basically, he looked confused as hell. He got lost on the stage again for the last event of him being president. He was lost on the stage again. He couldn't figure out where to go.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he'll still think he's president.
I don't know, bro. But all I do know is I don't like the government banning this stuff because this gets to be a little bit political. I remember when the Republicans were very happy about the Patriot Act when Bush did it.
Mm-hmm.
And those same people were all upset when Obama used the aspects of the Patriot Act in ways that they didn't like. Like the same thing is if the government bans this thing, so whoever comes in next,
they can
who
bomb
knows
anybody they want with the authorization from Congress.
right. So then and this is part of what this fight is about is like some of the Republicans are like, bro, like we did this for a reason, and you can't just come back and arbitrarily just decide stuff. You know,
There's a lot of people that voted for that stuff. They're still in Congress and hold majority of the power. So.
Right. So it is, I don't know. It is bigger than just TikTok, to be honest, and is in the realm of entertainment and all that kind of stuff. I don't like the government interfering in that kind of stuff at all. It sets a bad precedent. It's just not a good thing. Not a good look, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So the next thing, there is a rumor about the Spider-Man 4 and about, all right. So how much do you know about Spider-Man just in general?
I mean, comics are, but I'm not a like hardcore Spider-Man dude.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one of Spider-Man's his most popular suit is the black Spider-Man suit. So it's a rumor that, okay. So there's a rumor that Spider-Man 4 would feature Tom Holland's Peter Parker in his black suit from the comics.
Didn't he fight the black Spider-Man one time?
No. No. See, this is what I like. A lot of this
Black Venom.
Well, yeah, that's who Venom is. So this is I will give you a quick backstory on here. All right, so I will give you a quick backstory on the suit. Okay, so the suit Spider-Man got the suit from the Secret Wars. Remember I was telling you how I don't know how they can do the first Secret Wars because there's so much backstory to it and character history and all that you have to do before you even tell that story. Because it's basically a maxi series, a month long, like a year long series, right? That took all the comic book characters from their own comics and put them in one big ass story. So they all got their own histories and rivalries and blah 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 blah. And all right, so Spider-Man is on this planet that's created by this being called the Beyonder because he was bored and he wanted to see the villains versus the heroes and have them fight each other. He goes to this one spot because it's it basically what it is pieces of different planets pieced together to create a battle world kind of thing. So one of these planets. So one of these pieces, Spider-Man finds it. He goes inside this. It's like they get into a big fight. His suit is all messed up. It's torn and all that. So he needs a new suit. So he goes into this thing, and someone tells him, "Is like, oh, this machine over there makes suits." So he's like, "All right, great." So he's like, "Well, where's it at?" He points him I think it's Johnny Storm. Points him in this direction. So he goes in this direction, and he finds this machine, and he hits the button, and he's messing around with it, and it puts out a black suit. So he's thinking, all right, that was cool. It's like, it looks cool, blah, blah, blah. Comes out, everybody like, yeah, Spider-Man's a black suit now. What we find out later is that, no, that was a containment thing that was containing a symbiote that was like an alien thing. So when he gets back to Earth, he finds out that he's more aggressive. He's more like when he's fighting people, he's more aggressive and all kind of stuff. So eventually gets rid of the suit. Because the suit is like taking him out to fight crime and whatnot with him asleep. So he'll be asleep in the bed. It'll crawl onto him, cover his entire body, stand him up, walk him outside. He's swinging through the air. He's fighting crimes while he's asleep.
Basically like Venom, right?
No, this is Venom.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So what happens is he figures out a way to get rid of it. It falls off of him and it finds its way off to Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is a guy who hates Spider-Man. right? Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They bond because at this point, both of them hate Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So that's how you get Venom. That's why Venom is created, right? So my issue is like, all right, that is the story. How do you tell this story without having any of that taking place? Because you've already done the Venom movies and you've established that he's a symbiote, and then you did all these like 3 different Venom movies. I'm like, well, how does that work? They hinted at it, him being in the coming to the Tom Holland universe in I think the second Venom movie where he showed up in the Tom Holland like in the MCU, right? So he showed up in the MCU when he got sucked back to his own reality. A piece of him was left, so they had a little piece of the symbiote in the MCU universe. So they kind of implied that he can be there, like at least the bit of the symbiote is there. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go to that deep to explain this stuff.
Well, I guess, but they're gonna have to do something because you've established that Venom is in a separate universe.
Unless they do a Marvel series.
I don't know. Okay, so let's see what's in his rumors. We don't really know anything about Spider-Man 4. Part of no, because Null came up is a Spider-Man Uber villain who showed up at the end of Venom, right? The third Venom. So, all right. Scorpion and Shocker return to previous appearance. Right, we have no idea at this stage, though all signs point to a Warcrawler down in his black suit from the comics. Avengers Doomsday is being released before Spider-Man 4, and Tom Holland is expected to be one of the movie's leads. Needless to say, find it hard to imagine the Russo brothers not taking the opportunity to put the hero in the alien costume. While this isn't the first time we've heard this rumor, Scooper, My Time to Shine, took the X earlier to share some fan art of Holland in a suit, captioned Peter will have this new suit in Spider-Man 4. All right, Spider-Man 4 ended with him donning a classic red and blue suit inspired by his previous costumes and the ones worn by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider variants. Hopefully it gets to be decent amount of screen time. Okay. Okay. See, we're standing to shoot the next Spider-Man movie with Destin Daniel Creighton. He's a wonderful director. Yeah, okay. Ray put it send off a web slinger. Well, we have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker, and he was going to focus on being Spider-Man because being Peter Parker was too hard, and that's what the movie is about. So we'll pick up with Spider-Man has to put Peter to one side, not dissimilar what Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man said he did in No Way Home following the death of Gwen Stacy. In the case of the MCU, Spidey, it is a little more literal after Doctor Strange spell made everyone forget he exists. I read it 3 weeks ago, and it's really lit a fire in me. Holland has said about Spider-Man's 4. Zendaya sat down and read it together, and we had times of bouncing around the living room. Like, this is a real movie worthy of fans' respect, but there are a few things we need to figure out before we get to that really going. It's exciting, and I'm really excited about it. It's supposed to come out on January 26th, and this is what a fan art of what he would look like in the Spidey costume. It looks like the Venom, like from the Venom movies. So, what do you think? Are you excited, like, at all about the next Spider-Man movie?
Not really, but I mean, he's a good actor, Holland.
Yeah. So, did you like the last one?
Yeah, the last one was good. I liked it.
Okay. So there was a lot of complaints from a lot of people about they was calling him Iron Boy Spider-Man or something like that because he was because they decided
this is his last movie. Holland.
No, he's gonna do another trilogy, and
okay.
Right. So he's already said something about how he is like, I guess if he manages to knock up Zendaya, he's done as an actor. So there's a whole like bit about simping, yada yada yada. I'm like, I just think that he's in his 30s, maybe being an actor ain't all that we think it is. Probably making it. I cannot believe that he has not made enough money so that he don't have to worry about money anymore. So maybe
who knows what type of lifestyle he has.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wants to do other shit. I don't know. But it should be interesting. I hope they don't do what they do in a lot of these movies. They just put the costume on just because they think it looks cool. Because there's a Spider-Man cartoon. I think I showed it to you. The one where Green Goblin is black for some reason. And
no, I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so Green Goblin in the cartoon that's coming out is black for some reason. His son looks like I can't even. There's a shot where you can't really tell if it's a girl or a boy. It looks like I don't know what I'm looking at. He has a man bun, but it looks like it's like a regular bun. It looks really weird, and he's supposed to be Harry Osborn. But in that cartoon, he is wearing the suit that he got from Mr. Fantastic. So they decided to make him like the Green Goblin his mentor for some reason in that cartoon. And in that universe, Harry he gives him the Fantastic Four Foundation suit. It's all white. And the reason why it looked like that is because that's how the Fantastic Four costumes looked at that time. So he got one of those costumes. It was like this whole thing they were doing with the Fantastic Four. So it's like and this is what I'm hoping that they don't do, where someone just decides that they like how a costume looks and just sticks it on them. There's no reason.
I think that's where we're going to.
I hope they don't do that, dude. Because there's like a whole story to why he has this suit, why Venom doesn't like him. Venom's like eventual redemption, failure, back to redemption. So there's like a whole thing with Venom that's tied into that. And if they just decide that, oh, I think this is cool and put it on them, that just gets rid of all of that. And it's just a sign of all the crap they've been doing in the last 5 years of just people just doing that, just taking stuff just because they think it's cool and just sticking it in there. It's like,
well, it's Marvel, so what do you expect?
Dude, I hope not, man, because then that's lame as hell. All right. Well, speaking of Spider-Man, there is another Spider thing coming out. You ever? It is Spider Noir. All right. Did you see
Spider what?
Noir? Noir. It's
no.
Okay. Did you see the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie? Okay.
No.
All right. So the Miles Morales movies, one of the characters in that is this guy. It is a Noir is a kind of like a kind of an alternate universe take on it's like 1940s superhero detective comic kind of thing. All right. So it's mostly going to be in kind of black and white and is based in it has a strong 40s aesthetic to it. All right. So in the Miles Morales movie, this character was played by Nicolas Cage. So they're gonna do, I think I'm not exactly sure if it's a movie or a show. All right. Nick Cage returns to work as a private eye, Ben Reilly, and a newly revealed set photos. New photos of the set of Spider Noir has found their way to online, and they show Ghost Rider and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse star Nicolas Cage suited up as private eye Ben Reilly. Checked him out. All right, see if it's business as usual. Okay, to talk about the wildfire. Spider-Man resumed shooting yesterday. No, they film it in LA, so they probably had to stop for that. Well, lead star Nicolas Cage, no stranger to comic book adaptations, has been spotted in costume as Ben Reilly, albeit in his PI gear rather than a super suit. The actor first played his version of Spidey in 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and became an instant fan favorite. The fact that he's getting to reprise the role in a live action isn't something we've ever expected. Though Spider-Man as Ben, not Peter Parker, we don't think that makes him a clone. It's just more likely as a result of Sony not wanting to confuse the audience. It's been a while since we got any updates, but so I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime. MGM and Amazon Prime appear to be going full steam with the streaming series. So it's going to be a series. While it's put on development before Sony Pictures pulled the plug on its villain-led Marvel universe. Should the show prove to be a hit, we can imagine that the studio will begin focusing on Spidey's many variants on the big and small screen moving forward. Last year, Cage opened up on what it led him reprising the role he first played in the animated Spider-Man Into the Universe Spider-Verse. We know that the phone's going to be. I know that the phone's going to be ringing off the hook to play as serial killers after long legs, he explained. And that's not really what I would like to do. I don't like violence. I don't want to play people who are hurting people. One of the things I like about this potential show is that it's fantasy and not really people getting beaten up and monsters are involved. So see if I can find pictures of Woody, because there are some other set photos.
I mean, Ghost Rider was good with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is some pictures of what he looks like. So it's like
So what is that? Detective?
Yeah. So this is him in costume.
It looks like the guy from Star Wars, the bounty hunter, Bane.
Yeah. So that it's like it's a detective show, but it's like but he all right. There's one that came out in that time period called The Shadow. All right. So that's essentially what this is. This is a Spider Universe version of The Shadow from like it's a 1940s like detective type show. All right. So it should be interesting. It's things are hit or miss when it comes to Amazon Prime. Sometimes they're good, sometimes it's bad.
So basically, this Nicolas Cage is the one's gonna do he's gonna be the main actor.
Right. So he's gonna be a main dude in this show. And it's kind of like a detective show, but he's Spider-Man, but they made a game of him. And if I remember in the game, you do have spider powers. The sense. You got the spider sense, strength, climb the walls, all that kind of stuff.
So they have to pay Sony, right? Amazon?
Yeah. It's a license thing.
Okay.
So you just license it out and they get a piece of it. They get a piece of it without actually having to do anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so it should be interesting.
I'll watch it when it comes out.
Yeah. Did you watch the trailer for Daredevil?
Yeah.
So that comes out March. So that's a definite watch. Because look, it's brutal as hell, and it actually looks good. Bro, it was breaking people's like arms and whatnot. It was like, oof, like a bunch of faces.
Daredevil, but I'm not really like. I remember in the comics, but I was not really into it.
Well, I think Daredevil is kind of an acquired taste because he's always like depressed and sad, and there's a lot of bad stuff happening. And it's actually part of the reason why I stopped really reading Spider-Man books because it was the same thing. I was like, bro, this dude's life is. I got my own stuff to worry about. I need to worry about this dude in his messed up life. I'm like, bro, I don't need all this shit. It's just whiny and that is an aspect I hope they do not touch on in the next Spider-Man movie. It's like, dude, I don't want to hear about your life. Like, yeah. It is one of these things where they keep trying to, I guess, humanize these characters because they did this to Batman. They took away Batman's billions and tried to make him into just a complete street level thing. I'm like, bro, you cannot be Batman and be a billion without being a billionaire. It's impossible. His gadgets.
He's the one that create all that stuff, all those machines and stuff like that.
You still need money. You need money to do this stuff, right? And that's what annoys me the most about Spider-Man is like he's super smart. The Fantastic Four, they live off of Reed Richards' invention. So basically what Reed Richards does is he invents something just offhand and he sells the rights to some company. And then that company gives him royalties for using that thing, whatever the hell it is. And that's what he does. So they don't have to worry about money because he just he just invents something by an accident. He don't really need it for their adventuring. So he just sells the rights to some company so that they can license it and like some new type of computer or something like that. All right. So I'm like, you cannot tell me that between knowing Tony Stark and Reed Richards that they can't come up with a similar thing for your ass. Well, you just because you're super smart, you can invent something, and they eventually did something like that in the comics where they turned him into Tony Stark for some reason. So he had his own corporation and flying spider cars and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, you don't got to do all that. You just do what you did, like Reed Richards. Just have patents a bunch of stuff that you invented to be Spider-Man, sell a commercial version of that, and just live off the royalties of it. Then you'll have money. Then you ain't got to worry about none of the other stuff. And I ain't got to hear about you whining and crying about your life as Spider-Man. It's like, I got my own shit to worry about. I don't need to pay $2.50 for some 20 page comic book about you whining about your life.
I'm gonna have to go back to refresh my memory regarding Daredevil.
Yeah, it's like a lot of Catholic type guilt. So he's guilty. You know how that goes. He's just guilty about everything. Everything he's beating people up and all. He just feels guilty about it.
Is he Marvel, right?
Yeah. So he is a street level crime fighter.
Licensed by Disney or somebody else?
No, Disney owns Marvel, so it's not a license. Yeah, so what people were worried about until, at least especially me, until this trailer came out, it's like they're gonna Disneyfy thing because he was in the She-Hulk TV show, right?
I didn't watch it. So
Dude, he was in the She-Hulk TV. He had his original costume on, which was interesting. It's like one of those things where it's like it may be okay in the comics. It looks really goofy in real life because it's like mustard yellow and burgundy or something. Like it was like a weird color, and he had he had to take the walk of shame because he got with Jennifer Walters. It was like Daredevil like walking down the street with his boots in his hand after he got knocked the boots with She-Hulk.
You watched that show?
Yeah.
The whole episode?
Yes, I did.
I think I only watched the first episode, but that was it. I don't know. That was crap for me.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible. They were lecturing. The ending was stupid. The ending was breaking the fourth wall on steroids.
They could have just make a series about the Red Hawk. Ran that shit.
That might actually be worse. No, but all right. So the last episode, so basically what she did was a bunch of bad stuff was happening to her, and she decided like F this. So it cuts to her poking a hole out of the Disney Plus menu screen, climbing out of it, and then crawling over to like some spot, like a behind the scenes thing or some shit like that, to talk to the writers about why they're writing her life so screwed up. So she goes into the writer's room, and it's just, then they make a joke about how Kevin Feige's a robot or something. It's like, and the villains of the thing turn out to be a bunch of YouTubers who or trolls on the internet who get like Hulk power. Like one of them gets the Hulk powers or something nonsense, and she winds up having a fight with a troll who's like a Chad version of the Hulk kind of thing. It was so stupid.
I wonder how much they spent for this movie.
What, the TV show? Yeah. Well, I mean, these are all nothing but TV shows.
I mean, how much they spent for that one?
I don't know. Maybe
500 million.
No, it's not that much.
You think it'll beat the new Captain America movie?
Oh hell no. If it's eligible. Daredevil. What's the name of this damn shit? Born Again. All right. Okay. Here is how the budget of Tana compared to This is Reddit. All right. So, okay. Born Again is a budget conscious Marvel Cinematic Universe series. The show's budget is more cost effective than the original Netflix series, but it had an estimated value of 50 to 60 per season. So it's cheaper than that, so it's going to be less than 50 or 60 million.
Wow.
These shows don't have to cost it.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying. I was just asking how much is hopefully not like 300 million.
Oh no, but dude, the Acolyte costs like 300 million. And when you look
That'd
at it,
be
like,
funny, huh? They did Wolverine and Deadpool, and it was a lot of violence, and it made $1 billion. And then this one coming up this year does a lot of violence and makes a lot of money too.
Well,
And it's Disney.
It's not really going to make them money because it's on Disney Plus. But what it will do is what they look at is how many subscribers they get. So if they get a bunch of people like watching it and subscribing just to watch this television show, then they'll, because Disney needs money. They're losing money everywhere. They're losing money at the parks, which is not good.
Oh, okay, so expensive, man.
Right.
People can't afford it anymore. It's just a luxury.
Yeah. So they need the money. So if you got Daredevil and Wolverine making money, and then you got Captain America coming out, and that doesn't make any money, and then Daredevil comes out.
What's the point, right? You make all that money, and then you make this. It goes down.
The point is, if you got enough people, all right. With Jeff Bezos, he went in and told the Washington Post, like they hired a bunch of middle to right leaning people to run the Washington Post. And when they got complaints about that, they were able to tell the people complaining, no one is buying your shit. No one is reading your articles. We are not making any money. We need to make money.
Yeah, but the Washington Post is also censored. So
but what I'm getting at is the people who are writing all this like woke stuff, they don't really care about how much money they losing you. They don't. They just want to get their message out. So if you come in and saying that you just about change, if you come in and you say that you just want change, they're not going to listen to you because they don't care. But if they're losing money and you say, look, bro, we either got to make this change or we just firing all of y'all. Right? And you got to be able to say that. I don't know why you have to be able to say that, because that seems to be what all these companies, they got to wait until it gets really bad before they tell their woke staff that, all right, nobody's buying this crap. So we need to make money. Otherwise, none of you will be employed.
Or go out of business.
Right. That seems to be what they have to go to. It has to get that bad or they can say that. I don't get it, how it has to get that bad. For me, I'm like, why don't you should be able to just tell these fools. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody paying for this, dude. Like, we're going to stop. We're going to do something different. And if they complain about it, you just go,
Yeah, and basically, if you're the owner, you know.
Bro, like, the guy who was in, like, before Iger, like, in between Iger, when he was, and I forgot what his name was, but he made a video. First, he comes out saying that we're not going to get into this woke stuff. Then the Parental Act in Florida comes out. The people who work at Disney pressured him into making this statement, and he comes out making this hostage video statement about how they got to fight this and fight that and do this and do that, even though it wind up costing the company billions of dollars. Because they hired that many people at their company, where it's like even the people in charge are afraid of them.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And these people do not care about making money. Not even the slightest. They just want to put their message out.
That's what I'm saying. They can put out the message they want, but nobody really gives it. Majority of the population don't give a damn.
Right. So that's why they go over to things that are popular. That is why whenever you get something that becomes super popular, a bunch of people show up all of a sudden telling you need to put this in it, and you need to put that in it, and you need to do this, you need to do that, yada, yada, yada. When nobody's watching it, they didn't care. Because they know that when anything that they put out that's just from them, and nobody buys. So they don't care that they eventually will kill the host they just hope that enough information gets out before the host dies. All right, so let's get into this next story, which is the upcoming Russo Brothers movies. All right, so let me share this. Okay. All right, so rumor is another rumor. Russo Brothers scrap Michael Waldron's Avengers 5 script. Update on Daredevil's Doomsday Role. All right. It's been no easy feat getting the next Avengers movies into theaters. They were originally set to be released, in the same year with Jeff Loveness Ant-Man and the Quantumania. Yeah, it was supposed to come out like last year or something like that. Writing The King of Destiny and Michael Waldron, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, tasked with Secret Wars. Since then, it's become clear to fans and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige that entrusting their relatively inexperienced Rick and Morty scribers with the multiverse saga's final chapters wasn't the wisest move. Jonathan Majors' personal dude. Okay, every time I go down, this pisses me off.
Hey, the Russo brother, is that the one that made the Game of Thrones the last season?
No, the Russo brothers are Captain America, the Captain America movies, and the last two Marvel movies that anyone gave a shit about: Endgame and Infinity War.
Oh, they left, right? Now they're coming back, right?
They left because they were tired of doing Marvel and wanted to do some other stuff. The other stuff that they didn't really do all that well, so they came back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, so Jonathan Major's personal legal issues combined with the largely negative response to Ant-Man 3 to the Ant-Man threequel, plans to make Kang the Conqueror MCU's next big bad essentially scrapped. Both Loveless and Waldron were removed from their respective movies, but only after Waldron was tasked with rewriting what became Avengers 5. Yeah, so the negative response was the fact that you made your big bad lose constantly and you completely forgot about how Thanos worked. The reason why Thanos worked, all right? The reason why Thanos worked is because they sprinkled him in, but he was still menacing. So it's like you got the big bad of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, who everyone else is terrified of, basically shaking in his boots when he's talking to Thanos at the end of one of the movies. So then you got to go, all right, well, who is this dude that has this guy this scared of? So you just start, and you just sprinkled him here and there. What they didn't do is that Disney did what they did for Star Wars, where it's like, I'm supposed to be scared of Thrawn, but you make Thrawn lose every time he fights somebody. Like, well, how am I supposed to be scared of this dude if he keeps losing? Like, okay, Kang the Conqueror got beat up by Ant-Man and he got beat up by a bunch of ants. It's like, well, he's not scary. He got throttled by a 78-year-old grandmother.
Nah, they made Thrawn right now. Ahsoka series so stupid. So
right, so it's like but they did the exact same thing in the Ant-Man movies, and like, well, yeah, that's pretty much why it failed like it did.
You're talking about Kane, right?
Yeah, it's like, but it's the same general principle. It's like they got to the point where their bads couldn't be bads, and then a bunch of people complain about the High Evolutionary in the third Guardians movie. It said like he's doing animal experimentations and blah blah blah, and everybody's like, yeah, he's the villain. He's doing villain stuff. He's supposed to be bad. He's supposed to not like him. He's not supposed to have an understanding process to what he's doing.
So basically, they're gonna go away from Kane, right?
Yeah. So that's part of. They gave the multiple reasons, but yeah, they kind of ruined him. So he's not scary, and so you ruined the character. He got beat up multiple ways, many ways, by very tiny women. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So with the return of directors Joe and Anthony Russo, writers Steve McFeely transforming that Avengers 5 into Avengers Doomsday, where Robert Downey Jr. will instead be the lead villain as Dr. Doom. Much has been said about many of Waldron's and, to a lesser extent, Loveless ideas will make it into the two-parter. But according to scooper Daniel Reichman, Russo's completely scrapped Waldron's script and story for the Avengers Doomsday. Everything has been rewritten from scratch, and explains recent chatter about a small delay in getting the screenplay finished in time for when shooting starts this spring, which is given what I've heard about Marvel movies, this is par for the course. It's like they don't necessarily have the script finish, and this is one of the things that James Gunn pointed out when he went over to DC, and he was saying like we're gonna have the scripts finished before we start filming. So he was kind of giving a little bit of behind the scenes type stuff about what it was like for working for Marvel.
He's the one that's making the new Superman movie, right?
Right. So that was one of his criticisms about Marvel is that like they're not as strict about getting the strips finished as they need to be. So not only does this dismiss the notion that Doom has simply replaced Kang in the story, but it would please those who have been unhappy with Waldron's previous MCU work. There's an entire section of the fan base unhappy with him vilifying the Scarlet Witch, for example. Yeah, I didn't like that. In related news, hot on the heels of yesterday's Daredevil Born Again trailer, Reichman says that Charlie Cox will have a minor role as Daredevil in Avengers Doomsday. The man without fear has never been one for team-ups, so this is not overly surprising. In a recent interview, Joe Russo explained there were ideas that we were trying to wrap our heads around that preceded this one, and we just never found a story. I remember calling Steve and said, hey, crazy idea. What do you think if we all go back and do Secret Wars? And we were like, F no, absolutely not. And then you hung up, and then the next morning around 7:30, you called and were like, all right, I have an idea. He added and revealed how much he and Anthony end up agreeing to an MCU return. And this tells you when it's supposed to come out. I don't really get how they're going to do even the second Secret Wars, because they're gonna have to really, really, really establish who Doom is, where he's been, why nobody else talks about him in the MCU. For him, because he's the he is cosmic level big bad in the Secret Wars, where he's the villain, because he alters reality to recreate his own version of Utopia. All right,
is he stronger than Kane?
No, Doom essentially is Iron Man and Doctor Strange combined into one person who's the ruler of his own country. So he is smartest as Tony Stark, and he does magic. But it done right will be cool as shit. And aspects of his character is like he wears the mask, right? So the whole thing about he wears the mask, so everyone thinks that his face is scarred when it's actually not. He was in an accident that scarred his face. So up until a certain point, every time they showed his face, he was super scarred. But like, look, after a while, they started going for the fact that he is so vain that the accident only put like a little scar, a slight imperfection on his face, but he covers his face up because he thinks he's disfigured when he's not.
Oh, okay. The same thing at Doctor Strange, right? He had a car accident, same thing.
Right, to a degree. But the thing is there was any of this stuff, there is so much you have to explain. It's like part of the reason why he's able to control everything is he has the Beyonder's powers. So you got to explain where the Beyonder came from. And he has not control, but like I don't know how to say this, but over Molecule Man. Molecule Man can control molecules. So he can recreate you. He can do whatever he wants. He can recreate himself. He can't die. He's immortal, immensely powerful. Right? So he has control of these two. So between him and Molecule Man, he can reshape the whole thing. And so part of the speculation is this would allow them to recast a bunch of characters, because the recreation that he created combined different universes into one. So you got different versions of different characters in this reality. So this is,
but that like you said, they haven't mentioned them, huh? That's the problem. No.
So it's like the Fantastic Four movie is in an alternate universe, but it takes place in the 50s of an alternate universe. All right. All right. So in the Thunderbolts movie, all right. So
I think they might try to introduce them in one of these Marvel movies at the end. You know, when they show the last when the movie finished and they show that little cut.
Right.
I think he might come out there, like gonna try to introduce them.
They have done some Easter eggs here and there because like they did Easter eggs for Black Panther. Okay. So and they did an Easter egg for Atlantis. Like so the one for Black Panther was like what they used to do was like they would put a name on a list like Doctor like who Hydra's looking at Dr. Stephen Strange. So they would show that and everybody who's Marvel fan would go, oh, Doctor Strange is coming to them. And then they had one. Right. But they had one where it was something that they showed about Wakanda. And then they showed another one, and this was Atlantis, when they had an earthquake in the middle of the ocean around where Atlantis is in the 616. And they went to the chick from who's in charge of the ladies from Wakanda and was like, well, are we gonna just like see what's going on over there? And she was like, it's nothing. But if you know anything about it, you know that Wakanda's have an issue with the Atlanteans, and it's in that general area. So she's kind of like pushing them away from going over there and look. So like an Easter egg. So they could have been, if they were smart, they should have been dropping hints about them. But it really depends on which Doctor Doom they're going to use. Because the one that they could use with Robert Downey Jr. is the universe where Doctor Doom switches his mind with Tony Stark. So he gets Tony Stark's body, so he also gets Tony Stark's like fortune.
No, I have a feeling they might do that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And in that universe, Tony Stark is in, so he's still smart, and he uses being ruler over Latveria to eventually thwart Victor Von Doom in their universe, kind of thing.
You think with this new character that they'll start bringing Marvel a little bit back up if they don't mess it up with Doctor Doom?
I think there'll
be more excitement.
Well, given how violent and raunchy Deadpool and Wolverine was, and given how violent Daredevil was, I don't know. And that's what it's looking like. It's looking like at least Kevin Feige is realizing, like, okay, nobody wants to. The people have spoken. They do not want to watch this stuff. They didn't like. So there's rumors about them recasting T'Challa.
Who?
Black Panther. His name is T'Challa.
Also, they're planning to make Black Panther 3?
Right. So Ryan Coogler is already writing the script. There's rumors about that Denzel Washington.
But it's not gonna be the girl, right? Or it's gonna be the
no. They had a little fault for various reasons because she's one of those shot people. No, she's one of those no shot thing. Like, you know, she didn't take the she had some things to say about the COVID shot that Marvel didn't like. So when when Black Panther 2 came out, there was actually pushback against her being Black Panther from the left because of the COVID stuff, and she said other things because she's kind of a conservative type of person, right? So she said stuff that the left got the left side didn't like. So then the movie doesn't make any money, and it's like they're gonna release the that Iron whatever the chick, they're gonna release that because they already filmed it and they kind of have to. But
talking about Iron, what's it called?
Iron something or other. Like whatever. But like nobody cares. So and that shit gonna come out and it's gonna get dropped all at once. Nobody gonna give a shit.
What's that new series coming out? Marvel, Disney is not Echo. I didn't watch that. The other one, Gotcha or some shit.
Yeah, what?
The Marvel series that's on Disney Plus. The Marvel one, the last one that Marvel did. What was it called?
Oh, Agatha.
Yeah, Agatha. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, dude, ain't nobody watched that. So they kept patting themselves on the back of how gay it was. Like, bro, people are.
Oh shit. So
Like,
Maybe
nobody
that's I
cares.
didn't watch it.
Nobody cares that you're gay. It's not a selling point. Nobody gives a shit. It's it's like it's like me walking around telling anybody I'm tall. Like, so what? Who cares? Like, nobody cares. So it's not a selling point anymore. It's like, yeah, at some point you could have came out and you would have been big, brave, and whatever because you came out of the closet. Nobody cares. It just you get a no. So there's been rumors about a bunch of black actors already turned down the role for various reasons. And the latest one that people are talking about is Denzel Washington's son. Could be up for the role or has been asked about the role. I don't know.
He came out of that movie. What was that movie called?
He's done a lot of stuff. He was in that.
The last movie. I don't know if that's the last movie. But I remember you told me that was his son. I didn't realize that was his son.
Yeah, if you listen to him, he sounds just like him.
Don't with the little kid with the AI shit and all that stuff.
The creator.
There you go, creator. It was all right.
He sounds just like his dad. And he looks like his mom. So, but his mannerisms, just like him and his brothers, they all sound like their dad when they talk. So it just sounds like a little version, a bunch of younger versions of Denzel Washington.
Have you watched the new Gladiator one, part 2?
Mm-mm. I'll probably wait until it's like cheap.
The story is, it's all right, but I mean, Denzel is pretty good.
Yeah, he's Denzel. He's pretty good at pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So Ryan Coogler
actually, the first one's still better. So
yeah. So Ryan Coogler actually wrote him a part for Black Panther 3. So he's going to be in it. It will be interesting to see if his son plays T'Challa. There's also rumors that it may be his son, which I don't think they should do. I think they should just do T'Challa, and they just need to do what the family wants is for them to treat T'Challa like they do James Bond, as just like they do with Spider-Man, just like they do with Batman and Superman and all that stuff.
Cast a different person.
Yep, cast a different person. You make about 2 or 3, maybe 4 movies with that same person,
and then change.
Yeah, cast another person, and then you keep. That's what they wanted, and Marvel didn't do that for whatever. For the reasons they say that they wanted to honor. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, so they wanted to honor him, but it was all this. This was the same time that they were changing all their characters to female. So it was like, I think that was getting to the point where people started to like get upset about them doing that. So it was like, no, we're not doing it because of this. We're doing this because of this. I'm like, all right, whatever. Dude. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is so you know about the Lobo thing, right? For the Supergirl movie. What is his name? Damn, I hate being old, dude. I keep forgetting shit. He played Aquaman in the DCU.
The Samoan guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be Lobo in Yeah, so he's going to be Lobo in a Supergirl movie. Let me pull this up.
The guy that I forgot their name. He's the one that did the last movie with was Race in the Ferry? What's it called? Speed in the
Furioso?
Yeah. No, the other one. With the racing movie.
What
Ludacris comes out and all that shit.
Oh, you talking about Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, it came out in the last one.
Yeah, he was all chubby and shit.
Yeah.
In the Minecraft movie, he's still kind of chubby because he don't like exercising. Dude can work out and look like a Greek guy.
He's all juiced up, man.
No, he said he don't like exercising. I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay.
I don't know. Just saying, he's all juiced up. So
probably I'm not even gonna comment on that. So DCU updates reveal plans for Lobo after Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Sergeant Rock, Waller Productions start dates. All right. So DCU hasn't taken shape as quickly as some fans that are like, they haven't done shit. That Superman costume looks like ass. Though 2023's Hollywood strikes did little to help with that, Superman, however, is in post production, while in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow has started shooting in the UK. Peacemaker season 2 also hits Max later this year, and cameras are expecting to roll on Lanterns any month now. So there's a lot to look forward to, and according to Insider Daniel Reichman again, the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is script is so good that DC Studio boss James Gunn is eager for writer Anya Nangel how you say that? Nogueir. Geta? Nogeta? What do you think?
Where is it at?
Right here.
Noguera.
Nogeta.
Is Spanish?
I'm assuming. Involved in multiple DC projects.
Ana Noguera.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as you recall, she was attached to write Supergirl movies meant to spin out the events of The Flash, with Sasha Kali tapped it to star. That project was scrapped, but she's clearly been impressing DC executives for a while. That does not bode well because that movie was ass. So as for Jason Momoa's Lobo, while he's expected to play a small role in the Maiden of Might's movie, the door is said to be open for him getting his own DCU project somewhere down the line, because Lobo is basically Jason Momoa covered in white paint.
Yeah, Jason Momoa. Didn't he do Moana too? Or that was a Rock?
No, that was The Rock.
Oh, okay.
No, Lobo is basically Jason Momoa. It is Jason Momoa, white paint, and a mustache. So, all right. So, okay. Other minor updates include the fact that both Max's Waller TV show starring Viola Davis and Luca, I'm not even trying to say that, and Daniel Craig Sergeant Rock movie will both begun filming later this year as expected. They're almost certainly to be among DC Studios' 2026, 2027 offerings alongside Clayface and the Batman 2. It is a mistake for them to push out the Batman 2 that damn far. You got a lot of buzz because of the Penguin. Dude, they got a lot of buzz because of the Penguin.
Actually, right now, there's nothing to watch on Max. So,
no. Dude, and that's all this stuff is the only reason I'm not tripping as much is essentially I am paying $10 a piece for Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max.
Yeah. I mean, they were doing a hot streak, right? House of Dragon, then the Penguin. And
yeah, but dude,
they just went down the hill till May, maybe. I think Pacemaker, or I don't know what's coming up on the next show.
You got when is the next Game of Thrones thing coming out?
Oh, mostly summer, June.
Yeah, so, dude, all this stuff takes a while for them to film and do all the
post-production. Oh, that's the other one. That movie, the game, the zombie one.
Oh,
it's gonna come out, I think, May. Around May or April. The Last of Us. That's the one that's gonna come out. The season 2.
For a channel where we talk about pop culture, there's not much pop culture to talk about. Hence, we talked about TikTok for like 25 minutes. All right.
Well, that's the big thing right now, TikTok.
Yes, it is. So Lobo was I collect comics. I do not do so much more anymore, but he was always my favorite, and I always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's the perfect role. Yeah, because it's basically you get to just be yourself. Momoa said while he was promoting Aquaman and Lost Kingdom at the end of 2023, I mean, listen, they called and asked me to play him. It's like, F yeah. I haven't received a call, but so I don't want to put any fake news out there. But if they ever call me and ask me to play or ask me to audition, I'm there. He added, of course. He's since received that call and is leaving Arthur Curry behind to play the main man. As for Sergeant Rock, no one quite believed that DC Studios is talked. All right, Guadagnino. I don't know. I'm not even trying. All right, and Greg to reteam on World War II story. We have to believe that will be heightened in some way. Yeah, it could be. To better fit into the MCU, Gunn has made no secret about the fact that not everything will connect. So a likely standalone tale about fan favorite hero. We certainly saw meet GI Robot in Creature Commandos. So I don't know, dude. I'm kind of excited about the DCU just to have something to like kind of watch and kind of not.
Well, we're gonna start it off back because it's gonna be Captain America. So,
that's next month.
So maybe until the end of the year, or Daredevil, right? It'll be coming out too. So
yeah, so
Thunderbolts.
All right. So how much do you know about the Sentry? Because that's the guy. They still have not shown what his costume looks like.
I never knew about Sentry.
Okay, so the Sentry is a relatively new character that was created, but the way that
bring Ninja Turtles, man.
Right. So, but the way that he was created was that he was created that he was always there, like he was a like World War II that era type hero who was immensely powerful, but he had like a bunch of mental issues, and one of his mental issue caused him to split part of his power off and created a villain for himself. So what he wound up doing in order to get rid of that villain, he caused the entire planet to forget his existence. All right. So, and something happened.
Sentry?
Yeah, the Sentry. He's like Superman level powerful, right?
The Sentry.
So he was created in terms of comic books, like recently, like the last 20 years or so. But it's the way that he's always known all the characters. But he was just he just mind wiped everybody, so nobody knows who he is. I'm not sure how they're gonna do this. I have little to no faith in that Thunderbolts movie is gonna be any damn good. Yeah, it's kind of how I'm feeling about this shit right now. It'll be what it's gonna be, you know. All right, so what you about to get into, man? So that's enough for today. We have finished talk about all the things that I found interesting to talk about today.
I mean, the only thing I can hope is Dr. Doom is pretty good. So,
well, Robert Downey is a good actor. He's really good at being right now. He's really good at being Robert Downey Jr. And it works in some parts. It was he played a watered down version of himself when he was Sherlock. So it was kind of him, but more of a more analytical version of himself.
Yeah, right? I mean, I'll watch the one for Amazon with Nicolas Cage,
to say the least.
Yeah, I'll watch that one, the Amazon one, when they make it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, good thing that we about to dip because StreamYard is showing me little to no connection activity. So it's about to get like crazy over here. So I think we should say farewell at this point. Yeah. So on behalf of myself and my man Ricky with my blurriness and the loveliness that is StreamYards, I am so glad that they bumped up the price.
You paid for this product, give us a better product.
Dude, the fact that they doubled the price.
Yeah, the product is not what you're getting paying for. So
all right, well, you know, it is what it is. So on behalf of myself and my man Ricky, we are the UN Podcast and we're out. Later.
Peace out.